Nebraska makes it to 6-6, breaking even. We'll be bowl bound, but let's take a look at some other stuff before we get to who we're playing. In the Mountain West, got to check on my boys. San Diego State Aztecs, 5-7 on the season. Man, Air Force are rough. 0-12 winless, so you know that coach probably got fired. Boise State running the conference. Speaking of running the conference, look at the SEC. Lots of losses across the board. Kentucky, 9-3, 5-3 in conference play. I love it. Also love Oklahoma, losing record in conference play, 6-6 on the year. Poor Mississippi State, 1-11 and winless in conference play. Texas not doing bad. Who else isn't doing bad? Carson Beck, your Heisman winner for year one in this dynasty. Over 4,000 yards passing, 40 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. It's like 2 games worth of interceptions for me if I'm lucky. Best defensive back, Isaac Gifford. So we get some representation for our defense. Not sure that we deserve it, especially given some of the games. You've seen the highlights. We'll take it though. I'm sure that'll help on the recruiting path. And then All-Americans, Dante Dowdle. Definitely deserving. Led our team in rushing, one of the top rushers in the nation. He makes first team All-American. Proud of him. In the Big Ten, second team, Ramir Johnson. Not so much for his rushing yardage. He did have yards, did have some TDs. But his contributions in the passing game, whether it was the drags and 5 wide or hitting those screens. Speaking of hidden screens, Dylan Raiola. Freshman QB in the Big Ten will take it. Quinn Knives, we'll take that too. He didn't contribute a whole lot, but Dylan, we're hopefully going to have 4 years with him. It's off to a good start. Speaking of quarterbacks, Coco Carney, we get him to commit. So a 3-star, no one super special, but we'll take it. It adds to the recruiting class. You can see we get locked out on Venable. He commits to Alabama, so we lose a 4-star opportunity, but Beckman is still in play. Overall in the nation, we rank 60th at this point. Just 8 recruits signed throughout the season. 4 stars, we have 5. I always say it backwards. 1 5-star though, and 2 3-stars. And overall in the Big Ten, near the bottom, just beating out 4 other teams. But remember, recruiting still goes on during bowl season, though we don't have any influence, and we have the off season plus the transfer portal. Speaking of the off season, there's a lot of movement in the coaching ranks. See Robert Brandt going to the pros, but a lot of guys fired. Some really interesting openings. We're not going to take any. Just wanted to show you got Penn State in the conference. Wouldn't want to stay in without my guys. Feel weird being in the conference and having to see Nebraska somewhere else in it. Virginia going to the ACC. Hey, I'm a tactician. They're looking for a tactician. Could be an interesting fit, but we're not going to go that route. You see TCU, Pitt, Minnesota. Cincinnati could be a fun one. And then the bracket. So this is the bracket for the first season of the playoffs. Oregon, your overall number 1. Ole Miss, Clemson, and Oklahoma State getting buys. Georgia in there. Kentucky facing Notre Dame. Michigan, Bama, and Texas A&M versus Ohio State. And we are going bowling, going to Vegas. Good place to go. Hopefully it'll be cool this time of year. Taking on the number 23 ranked BYU Cougars. Looking at the numbers, we average a TD more. They average a couple of more yards passing. The big difference is the run game. They average 69 yards. We average much more than that. Tommy Hill, hoping he would have an impact in this game. 5 interceptions on the season, 2 to the house. Some fumble recoveries as well. Hey, we weren't expecting to be in a bowl game. We climb all the way back to 6-6. So let's see, playing with house money here. Let's see if we can end the season with a win.